It's that time of the week again where we get to talk about brand new VR games coming out this week, new games coming out next week, and of course some of that juicy VR gaming news. But before we dive into that, I want to thank today's channel sponsor, Metal Hellsinger VR. Get ready to unleash chaos in a way you've never experienced before. Metal Hellsinger takes the rhythm-fueled FPS gameplay to the next level with full VR immersion. Step into the half-demon body of the unknown and shoot to the beat of the thunderous metal soundtrack, featuring icons like Serge Tankian and Randy Blythe, with an epic story narrated by none other than Troy Baker. Brutal boss fights and leaderboards to challenge your friends, Metal Hellsinger VR is the ultimate test of your skill and rhythm. As a metal fan, this is the perfect rhythm game for me. Honestly, it's kind of like Doom smashed together with a rhythm game, and you just get freaking brutal with this. You can pick this up on PSVR 2, Quest or PC VR, so a massive thank you to today's channel sponsor, and make sure you go check those out. Links in the description and bio. Now let's dive into new VR games that came out this week. New VR games this week. Well, this week we're going to be checking out the new VR games that came out this week and last week, because I didn't do a video last week as I was away at Connect, checking out the Quest 3S. If you want to check out my first impressions video, that is live on the channel right now, so make sure you go check that out. If you're considering upgrading from the Quest 2, this is a really good path for you. Of course, I'll have a full review going out on the headset very soon, so keep your eyes peeled on the channel. But until then, let's talk about the brand new VR games that came out this week. Gundam VR Silver Phantom. Now, this is a game I've actually been kind of looking forward to, and well, I don't know how I feel about it exactly, so let's break it down as we talk about this game. Now, in this, you're going to be playing in this very anime-styled world. Honestly, it's done pretty well. It's not the best executed game I've ever played in VR, for sure, but if you're a big fan of Gundam, I feel like this will pay more of a fan service to you. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's also got a couple of MR modes as well. We get to sort of fly around holding your little Gundam character, which is kind of fun. I don't think it's the best game I've ever played, but I think, again, if you are a really big Gundam fan, I think you're going to enjoy this, as it does kind of step you into that universe. I think if you're not a massive Gundam fan though, this might be a massive miss for you, so just take that as you will. And you know, at the end of the day, remember, picking this up on Quest, you have that couple of hours leeway as well to be able to refund this if it's just not for you. So worth a try, but just know that it's not the best game I've ever played. Next up, Starship Home made its way to the Quest 3 and, well, Quest 3S pretty soon. This is actually a really surprise hitter for me. I really like this game, a lot of fun. You get in there and you get to basically turn your room into a starship, and upon doing that, you then get to become basically like an intergalactic farmer, as you're going to be getting plants that you're going to need to look after, care and attend for, with various different tools that you're going to get throughout the experience. Genuinely pretty damn fun. Now, I'm not sure this is one that you're going to pick up repeatedly to play, but I know that the experience that you have in this is going to be really fun and that you're going to enjoy yourself for that period of time. I'd love to know in the comments down below though, as it's been out for just a little bit now, how often are you jumping back into this if you picked up this game, and how are you finding this experience? Because I feel like you are the best sort of people to speak to when it comes to this, so let those comments be heard down below, and then of course you can help other people looking to pick up this game. Other than that though, this is a very solid MR experience and I highly recommend it, as it's actually a full game for MR, and there's only a few of those going around at the moment, so this is definitely one to check out. Next up was Escaping Wonderland VR. Now, this is a platformer with a bit of a difference, I would say. This is actually one of the few times that I really enjoyed playing a platformer in VR. I'm not a massive fan of platformers in VR, but I feel like I said that 3 times too many. But nonetheless, this one actually gripped me because it has a really cool story, and it's sort of very enjoyable the way that you sort of play around it, grabbing onto little weeds and sort of dragging them around as you go through the levels. It just sort of added quite a bit to this game, making it one for me that I can definitely recommend. It's not the longest of games, but it has just as much length as you'd want to be in a game like this. So I do think this is a recommend from me. If you're looking for a platformer with a bit of a difference, this is going to be one to pick up. Not only that, but it's got a solid story going throughout it as well. VR gaming news. Well, this is where things always get a little bit spicy, and honestly, today is going to be no different. Starting it off with some side news. So this is a diving game that honestly is possibly one of the best looking VR games that we have currently on PC VR, and now it's making its way to the PSVR 2. This is actually pretty exciting news because it's going to utilize a bunch of features that make the PSVR 2 good. But not only that, this is also cool just to see a game of this caliber making its way to the PSVR 2. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why the hell would I want to dive into this game? I mean, pun intended. Well, the reason is, honestly, it's not only gorgeous, but it's actually got a ton of stuff to do in there as well. There's quite a lot of things you need to grind on to be able to get to some of the good stuff, but nonetheless, this is just a really solid all-round game. If you own a PSVR 2, I'd definitely be saying you need to keep your eyes peeled for when this drops. Next up, Dig VR. Well, if you've ever found yourself wondering what it'd be like to drive a digger, well, now you can find out in virtual reality. This is actually quite a fun, whimsical little game. I've played it a couple of times at this point from different conventions that I've checked it out, and honestly, it's not disappointed me yet. I think this is quite a solid, fun game. If you're into things like sort of, you know, lawnmower simulator or power wash simulator, it's got a very similar effect to it, you know, very satisfying as you go through your daily tasks. Not only that, but it's definitely got that sort of sim enthusiast level to it as well. This one's definitely one to check out. It's a pretty solid game, so if I think you're going to know pretty quickly whether this is for you or not, but if it is, I highly recommend you check this one out. It's pretty dang fun. Next up, in a surprise announcement, Starship Troopers Continuum makes its way to the PSVR 2 and Quest. So I'm pretty intrigued by this. Now, I know the development studio behind it has had a bit of a shaky past. They just released Hitman, which was pretty bad. By pretty bad, I mean god awful. And I'm kind of hoping that they can break this sort of cycle of bad games with this one. I'm a huge Starship Troopers fan, so I would really love for this one to be solid, but I don't want to be too optimistic. I just kind of want to see what this one's like when I finally get to play it and make my mind up as I go. Yeah, fingers crossed this isn't going to be bad, but I am pretty excited because it has the main actor, Casper Van Dien, coming back to basically reprise his role as Rico. And yeah, I mean, this is all good news. I really hope that they can deliver on this game. I'm not sure. I've heard a lot of people say that they like or hate the style of the looks of the graphics in this, so we'll see what people think when it drops, including me. I'll let you know, of course. Fingers crossed. Well, you'll never guess what. Hitman's making its way into VR again. This is what, the 4th or 5th installment at this point, but nonetheless, Hitman World of Assassination, I think that's what it's called. Yep, World of Assassination. I had to check my notes. Yeah, this is making its way to the PSVR 2 now. I'm just so mind blown that this is happening again. But, you know, apparently this time round it's going to be the one. There's going to be more VR interaction, it's supposedly. I hold almost zero hope at this time, but I am going to try this when it comes out, and I will give you, once again, my honest review. So prepare yourself for another Hitman is bad in VR style video. Honestly, I would love for this to be the time that this actually just pans out and works and it turns out to be an incredible game. I would love for it so much. I love the games in flat, but man, they've missed the mark so many times when it comes to freaking VR. So good lord, let's just wait and find out whether this is going to be just a pile of trash again or not. Either way, I'm sure it'll look really good though, because they're not going for that horrible cel-shaded look. They're actually going for a full-on graphical fidelity, high-end look. So let's just wait and find out. Next up is something I'm actually genuinely stupidly excited for. This is a game called The Midnight Walk. Now this game is, well, it looks freaking amazing to start with, and it's done in full claymation. I don't even think I could possibly have imagined that I wanted a game like this, yet it looks so freaking good. Imagine like Little Nightmares smashed together with everything awesome and a bit of like Tim Burton smashed into it as well. And you kind of find yourself in The Midnight Walk. This game just looks fascinating to me. I really look forward to checking this one out. It's coming out for PSVR 2 and PC VR. I'm kind of hoping it makes its way to the Quest and eventually as well. But for now, we've got those two platforms to look forward to. Genuinely, this game just looks like a freaking top-notch experience. Super high-end, and I love the production value that this sort of claymation style lends to it. Honestly, I'm a massive fan of that sort of art style anyway. But man, this game looks good. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are you hyped for Midnight Walk as well? Coming up next week. Well, Metamorphosis is going to be making its way to your headset. This is coming to the Quest platform, and genuinely, this looks like an interesting game. This is a full-on story game. It's going to take you through, you know, hours upon hours worth of gameplay. In this, you are going to play as a character who gets metamorphosized into a bug. When you get turned into a bug, that's when the story really begins, as you're going to have to find your way to making your way back to being a human. Now, to do this, you're going to have to do a bunch of quests and tasks as you interact with not only human-sized people, but of course other bugs. So this one looks pretty interesting. I've got to say, it's kind of like tickled my interest. I've spoken to the devs on this one. They are very enthusiastic about this game and just how nice they've made it look. So I'm pretty intrigued to see this one for myself. Fingers crossed this is going to deliver, but again, let me know. What do you think? Is this going to be solid, or is this going to be, I don't know, buggy? Next, we have Another Door escape room. Now, this one looks on the surface to definitely have that indie feel to it, and, well, that kind of escape room feel to it. Let's be honest, every one of the escape room games that we've had really to date has had that very indie feel to it. But does that mean it's going to be a bad game? Absolutely not. Sometimes these games may not look the best, but they play incredibly well. So, you know, I hope for this is going to be one of those. This is kind of a escape room game mixed with a little bit of horror. So, yeah, fingers crossed this one's going to deliver. I would really love it to, because honestly, I'm actually a massive fan of escape room games. We just haven't had a really solid one in quite some time. Fingers crossed this is going to break that rhythm and bring it to the forefront of being pretty epic, but only time will tell. Well, that is going to do us for this week, guys and girls. Honestly, it's been a pretty solid list of things to talk about in today's video. I'm sure I've forgotten at least one thing. If I have, you can tell me off in the comments down below. Other than that, though, please do consider subscribing and liking the video. It does really, really help. And of course, you get to be around for all the cool things that we have coming up. And trust me when I say we have a lot of cool things coming up. As a little teaser at the end of this video, I actually have something pretty special coming up this Sunday. So keep your eyes peeled on the channel. It's going to be a first look at something that no one else has really spoken about yet. Sounds pretty exciting. Other than that, though, have an awesome weekend. Let me know what you're going to be playing over the weekend. Maybe I'll join you in a multiplayer game. Who knows? Keep your eyes peeled for a bit of Rhys the King gamer tag, and you shall see. Anyway, other than that, guys, take care. Massive thank you to today's channel sponsor, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.